Dude, what the flip are you doing? Doing dumbbell curls, dingus. Don't mean that, you absolute goofball. You're not using the safety collars. I don't use safety collars. What do you think I am? A go? Right, that's it. I'm taking this into my own hands. Put it down. Why are you pointing your fingers at me? Because I ordered a toy gun and it didn't come in time. Fair enough. Simon Miller, the bald a-hole here, and today we are gonna break the rules. Don't worry, you're not gonna go to jail. Gerald, the fitness mascot, will be your alibi. Unless you do something properly bad, then unfortunately you're gonna have to go to jail. I ain't getting into your mess. It's not the time and it's not the place. But as soon as you start researching fitness stuff on the internet, and I did it, I thought, oh, if I was a beginner, what would I type in? You get inundated with articles saying, you must do this, you can't do anything else. And that's not good advice to give to anybody, because they don't know you, they know what you're doing. So I went through some of them, and while, you know, the gym rule basics are quite good and you should follow them, you can't treat them like it's a one-stop shop. You have to be a bit flexible. So these are the ones that I really thought, you know what, you got to break them sometimes. Sometimes you got to be a rebel, like when you're a kid and your dad says, under my roof, you're not allowed to smoke. And then as soon as he turns his back, you go, because you're just not a very, very good person. None of us are very good people as child. Anyway, it's not the point. The point is, these are 8 gym rules you absolutely should break if you want to get jacked. Number 8 comes in the form of time under tension. Now, time under tension is more important than just putting a load of weight on the bar and trying to rep out, but you're doing this. You're doing like 1-inch form. You know, it's not going to do anything. However, there are some exercises where it's actually quite hard to achieve time under tension. What I mean by that, obviously, is keeping your muscles with pressure on them for as long as you can, such as the lateral raise. If you don't know what lateral raise is, it works your shoulders, it works your deltoids. I'm so trapped in here. But you basically go, you can Google, I'll try and put an image on the screen, but you go like that, and again, you work your deltoid like I say. If you try and do that with super heavy weight, it's going to be difficult. But even if you actually take a moderate weight, trying to hold it here and fight it back down, which is what you want to do when you do time under tension, focus on that negative rep, is still, well, it's pretty uncomfortable, especially with the shoulder, which is just a minefield when it comes to injury. You can damage yourself like that. So what you can do is, you can kind of go about it in another way. You still want to make sure you get that time under tension, but you can do that by doing more repetitions than you would do usually. So if you're a 6 to 8 rep guy or an 8 to 10 rep guy, or you're a 12 to 14 rep guy, I honestly think when it comes to lateral raises, if you want to get to the 18 rep to 22 rep range, that's what you should do. That is one of the best ways you can ensure you're getting the workout that you desire. Doesn't mean you can't go heavy, doesn't mean you can't smash those 8 reps, but again, if you're doing those 8 reps, that's what you're doing. Unless you're on a machine. If you're doing it with a couple of dumbbells, I don't think you're holding it up there for very long. And if you are, man, I salute you. You are absolutely smashing it. But yes, if you want to focus on high repetitions on the lateral raise and kind of take the stereotypical time under tension and chuck it into the toilet, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. Number 7 is that you have to do heavy lifts first. That's it. If you're going to squat, if you're going to deadlift, you're going to bench press, unless you do them first, you're an idiot, you're a moron, and you deserve to be kicked off this planet. Then you've got to go sit up a home on Jupiter, and it's really hard because there's no oxygen, and you're just freaking out, and you're homesick, and you miss all your friends. I don't necessarily think you have to do that all the time. Because look at it like this. Let's say you're doing a leg workout, right? And you go and pre-exhaust your leg by doing leg extension and lunges and leg press and who knows what else. If you finish with squats, even though you're probably not going to be able to lift as heavy as you would do otherwise, and again, I'm not advocating that you always do this, but they're rules that you should break from time to time, you are going to smash your leg so hard with an all-over workout that I bet when you wake up the next day, you are filled with DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, and that is what everybody dreams about and everybody desires when they get into the fitness game. You may also fall into the territory where, because you're focusing on quads and hamstrings, as your body goes, oh my gosh, he wants to lift this heavy bar up in the air, what do? Other stabilizer muscles that have more energy, that haven't had their ass kicked, they may kicking too, so you're gonna get an all-round better workout. Also, it's a great way to challenge yourself. If you're able to smash out a 200 kilogram deadlift at the start of your back workout, well, what the hell can you do by the end of it, right? It's another way just to keep your workouts interesting, and I promise you, it will hit other muscles that you may have ignored entirely by accident as your body and your brain's really smart. It's like, okay, well, if they want to pick this really heavy weight up the floor, what haven't we used yet? Oh yeah, activate that, and it means you're gonna get even more jacked than you were already. It sounded like I was about to sing. I'm not. Number 6 is you always have to use safety collars. Now, in 99.9% of occasions, you absolutely should always use the safety collar. They're the clips that you put on the side of the bar. Otherwise, the weight's fall on the floor and you look like a doofus. But I will say this. I saw someone do this once and I was like, you're half moron, half really smart. But they say the line between genius and insanity is quite thin. So I am actually going to go with it. If you are going to do a heavy bench press, right, and you're a little bit worried and you can't get a spotter, especially in the pandemic era where it's really hard, it's not the dumbest thing in the world to take the safety collars off as long as you've got good form and you're not going to pick up the bung and straight away and drop them on the floor. But if you have good form, that's a great way to get out of jail free if you do one rep too many and you can't actually get it back where it needs to be. Because there is no safety collars, you can then do that, fall it on the floor once, fall it on the floor twice. Everyone's going to look at you like, well, that was a buffoonish thing to do, but it's far better than it crushing your throat, or even worse than that, when it starts crushing your throat, and then you have to roll it down your body, and then you get to your groinal region, and it doesn't matter if you're a man, woman, whatever. As soon as anything heavy is going into your groinal region, you just think, I don't want to be in this position anymore. It's not comfortable. Now, again, 9 times out of 10, use the safety clip, but if you really, really want kind of a gym hack, I suppose, well, you can do that. Number 5 is that when you're bulking now, you have to skip cardio. You're never allowed to do cardio. Even if you look at a cardio machine, all your muscles are going to fall on the floor and you're going to be some kind of like blob thing. And nobody wants that. It'd be really, really weird to look at. Absolute nonsense. I don't agree with it at all. You don't just do cardio to lose fat. You do cardio because it's good for your heart and it's good for your health. And if you're not healthy, how are you going to go to the gym anyway? You're not going to be able to. You have to sort out your health to begin with. If you are trying to bulk, sure, don't do as much cardio as you would do if you were cutting, but just increase your calories. You get to eat more food. And it also means when you do start going into your cut and you do start going into your losing fat phase, you're not going to be like, oh no, cardio, because you're completely out of the routine. Because you kept the routine up, it means just be like, okay, I've got to add 10 minutes here and 20 minutes there. You're just helping yourself physically, you're helping yourself mentally. And again, this thing here, the heart and the brain, you can't live without either of those two things, so protect them as best you can. Number 4 is that variety is key, and you've always got to change things up. That is true. That is absolutely true. I believe that people change things up too quickly. I don't think they actually give them any time to prove if they're going to work or fail. Like, oh, I tried it for 2 weeks, I'm changing everything up. I don't think you should do that. But you don't have to either. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. Even if you just did bench press for your chest workout, but you absolutely smashed it and you put in all the intensity and all the focus and your time under tension was spot on and your form was spot on and you were using the right weight, you could just do, let's say you usually do, 4 exercises and you do 4 to 16 sets of all of that, right? If you just did 16 sets of bench press, but you absolutely nailed it, you're going to wake up the next day and feel like you had a good workout. You really, really, really are. There's probably going to be an end to this where you do need to start shaking it up, but you don't always have to be pulling things out of nowhere just because you feel that's the thing to do. Like most people think, oh, I've got to do 4 exercises on a muscle group. And it has to be this and it has to be that. You just have to be intense and you just have to work hard. Like obviously different exercises are going to be more beneficial to you. If you're doing bench press, you're going to work sort of your overall chest. But if you're doing flies, you're going to work the sides a bit more and you want that. You're sculpting away. But that's not always how life works. So if you feel like you're backed into the corner and you only have one machine or you only have one thing you can do, just do it, but do it with all your power. There's not some rule that you have to use every single thing in the gym. That would be ridiculous. Also, when you do that, you turn into that guy. You know the guy. We talked about it here on the channel before. You go to use a machine and then bing, he pops up like the genie from Aladdin. He goes, I'm using that. I'm like, bro, you're over the other side of the gym using another machine. How am I meant to know? Also, if I go by your logic, I can't use any of these machines just in case your ass is using it. It's a pet peeve of mine. Number 3 is that free weights are better than machines. And you should never do isolation exercises because it means you suck as a person. That one is crap. This is when variety does come into it. You need to be doing everything when it comes to your muscle groups. Well, not everything. Again, I'll just explain why you don't have to. But don't just rely on free weights, right? Like a bench press is great because you are going to be working your stabilizer muscles and it's a great overall gainer for chest. But if you then go on to the machine chest press, you know 100% that your form is taken care of for you, right? So you know that you are 100% kicking your chest's ass. I understand why people don't like machines. I understand where the negativity comes from. Why would gyms put them in the place if they were crap? They wouldn't. They'd get rid of them and they'd have more free weights. Personally speaking, I think that gyms should have more free weights, but that's not what we're talking about today. Do not neglect machines. They are absolutely fantastic, and there are some exercises you can only do on machines. I can't think of any right now, but it's true. Number 2 is that you can never eat carbs. And if you do eat carbs, you're going to get fat and you're going to ruin yourself entirely, especially if you're trying to lose weight. It's absolute poppycock. If you want to do some kind of high-fat, low-carb diet, that's up to you. But it is not the only rule in the world. There's so many diets out there these days. You can find a diet for everything. I bet if I Google it right now, I can find a diet that says I need to eat ants all the time. If I eat ants all the time, I'm going to get ants game and become as big as an ant. Because that sounds exciting, I'll do it. And then one day, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't want to be as big as an ant. An ant is tiny. I can crush an ant with my little finger, and that is not a position I want to be into. You're allowed to have carbs. If you're trying to drop weight, then just drop your carbs then. But they are a source of energy. Do you know what energy? Do you want to be tired all the time? We're tired all the time anyway. That's the secret of human life. You get past a certain age, like, why am I tired all the time? Because that's being a human. So at least eat the thing that allows to fuel you forward. Number one, tying into that is that you can't eat fat. If you eat fat, you're going to get fat. No. If you eat like cheese all the time, you're going to get fat, of course. But you need to make sure that you're having good source of fats, because that's good for your health, it's good for your heart, and it's good for your metabolism. Like I just say, there are diets you can do that are high-fat diets, and surprise, surprise, people are still losing weight off them. Avocado, peanut butter to a certain extent, quite high in calories, be careful with it. Olive oil, whatever it is, you can Google it and you will find a ton of them. Make sure you incorporate them into your diet. A balanced diet is key. You're going to have to make a little bit of changes here and a little bit of changes there, but you want to make sure that you're getting in all of it. Otherwise, one day you're not going to get any fat and then realize I've got to eat fat, and your body's just going to go absolutely crazy because it's not used to fat, and then you're going to get really fat. And you're going to think it's the fat, but actually it's because you ignored fat. And if that doesn't hurt your brain, well, it absolutely did. It's like the hardest crossword puzzle ever. There you go, 8 gym rules you should absolutely break to try and get jacked. Never feel like you're getting yourself locked into a system. If you need to change things up, you make sure you change things up. Well, think outside the box. We always need to do that in gyms because they're so busy all the damn time. Now, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. There's a bell there, ding, ding, hit it to be notified about when other things go up. What else have we got? We've got Twitter, Instagram, and we've got Patreon, all with the Simon Miller 316 at the end. Check it out in the description below. SimonMiller.BigCartel for merchandise. Otherwise, have a great day. Have a great gym session, and I'll see you soon.